I'm Haley, and this is Taya, and welcome to Haley and Taya Rip Up Supernatural and Start Over, and also sometimes talk about other stuff, a podcast.
Also known as HATRUSA, and this week we're talking about Season 3, Episode 13, Ghostfacers. It originally aired on April 24th, 2008, and was written by Ben Edlund, who has written...
You did it right this time!
What?
We usually fuck it up.
Yeah, that's true. It was written by Ben Edlund, who we just saw for Malleus Maleficarum and did some others that were mostly meh, and was directed by Phil Segricia, who also did ones that were meh, including the last one.
Cool.
Cool.
So,
Yes.
I mean, we're gonna talk about it later, but I feel like I didn't write this down, but I feel like it's fair game to put in a content warning for this one.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That a gay character dies, and his death is heavily exploited, and also is shown on screen his body is shown on screen like various times, like
yes,
as the focal point.
The overwhelming plot of this episode is a gay person's death.
Yeah. Very upsetting.
And we will be discussing that, like, a lot. So,
yeah.
like...
And it's very upsetting, not just because he's a gay person.
Nice.
It's just, yeah.
It's also just upsetting, which totally ends up a little weird.
Right, which,
just
again, we will talk about. Taya has many things.
So
I have written more than just one sentence for the synopsis today, but it's still pretty short.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, because I actually liked this episode and felt like writing a little synopsis about it. So, Ed and Harry, formerly known as the Hellhounds, now open up as a reality ghost show. They warn us as viewers that this is shocking shit, and then bring us through the phases of research, entering the property, and the filming of the special night. It starts off like your basic reality TV ghost show that is low budget and cliche, but then it gets real. Sam and Dean show up, and then Corbett dies. They find out that there are really ghosts and everything goes to shit. At the end, Sam and Dean figure out what's going on, but for once, they aren't the ones to really save the day. Corbett is. It ends with our boys watching the complete pilot product with the rest of the living Ghostfacers. Dean says it was, quote, half awesome, and Sam calls it a gross exploitation of Corbett's death. They leave, and the Ghostfacers find a large electromagnet in a bag they left behind, which effectively wipes all of the footage, leaving Sam and Dean unscathed.
Okay. We'll talk about this more. I think it's probably Haley's first note, but I wanted to mention it here. But this episode was written, and this whole season was written, and we've talked about this previously, during the Writers Guild Association strike back in 2008. And I wanted to bring it up because we're recording on May 3rd. As of May 2nd, the Writers Guild is striking again. And from this point out, I'm calling them WAGA. I don't know if that's... Or did we say WAGA or WAGA? What did we decide on? WAGA, yeah. I don't know if that's actually how it is, but that's how I say it in my brain, so that's what we're saying here. So we do support this strike. It's very important for writers to be getting the pay they deserve and the benefits that they deserve, even if they are writing absolute trash garbage with no intention of making better content. I firmly believe that it doesn't matter the quality of the content you're making. But Supernatural Season 3 is painfully obvious that it's written during this strike. And I'll mention it a little more during Lore Library, but this episode in particular is it's affected by the strike, and some of the reviews reflect that heavily.
Right. So it's not my first note, but it is my second note. So
go for it.
So my notes today. My first note is before my notes, The death count!
The death count.
The death count for this episode is technically 4. Like, the death count for this episode is weird, because obviously we're in a haunted house, where there are many dead people. So we know at least 2, because
we see the echoes.
The death echoes. And then we also know that, the main guy, whose name I forget, the big bad of the episode.
Oh, yes. It's not important. Strangely enough.
So, like, he's dead, so he's a ghost. And then the only real death in this episode is Corbett.
It's Freeman Daggett, by the way.
Freeman Daggett, yeah. I knew it was, like, one of the characters from Angry Beavers. So, basically, the only real death in this episode is Corbett, so there's only technically 1 death on screen, but then there's also Corbett's ghost death, and the mention of Daggett's actual death, and Daggett's ghost death.
I do want to say, we didn't put this as a trigger warning since it's just in mention. If you're watching, and it's going to be upsetting, Daggett's death was a suicide, so...
Shit, was it?
Yes, I'm on his page right now, and it passed me by, so maybe it's mentioned really quick, but just a heads up, there is a suicide mention. Horse tranquilizers.
Oh, okay. Was there rat poison mentioned in this episode?
There was a dead rat.
Oh. Maybe I think it's something else. Anyway.
They don't go into it, but, like, that is something that is mentioned in this episode.
Cool. My bad for not catching that.
No, it's okay. When we say that, like, it's so not the point. And one of the reasons it's not the point is because, like, while Sam and Dean are figuring this out, like, the Ghostfacers are off doing nonsense. So, like, the story of the ghost isn't, like, really a focal point. Like, I didn't even remember this guy's name. I didn't really catch... Like, they tell you stuff about his birthday party, but, like, you don't have to pick up on it. I barely picked up on that. You don't actually need that for the episode.
I was just paying attention to Corbett and how sad he makes me.
Yeah.
So, anyway, now my notes. Oh, wait, well, I didn't give the real number. So, technically, there's only 1 death. But if you count the ghost deaths and everything, there are technically 6 in this episode. Okay. Plus a bunch of, like, unnamed deaths from, Daggett's past. Cool. So, now my notes, for real. So my first note is... really important. It's Ed's fucking yellow Converse.
Oh my god.
So in the very first shot when they're like, this is serious shit. Ed has on a pair of, like, mustard yellow Converse, and they just really got me for some reason. I can't explain it any further. I just really liked it. I feel like it's a really important character note. My next note is during the writer's strike, okay, meta. So, yeah, we'll obviously talk about that later. Or did you? Yeah, okay. Then my next note is Ghostfacers! Because it's really important to me. Then I have, Harry is so funny. Why are the buttons on his shirt like that? I said shirt, it's a sweater. Taya pointed it out before I, like, actually made the note. But, so Harry has, like, Hot Topic buttons on his shirt, you know?
Yeah.
And they're not in they're, like, all over his fucking sweater. They're not just in one area. They're, like,
just, like, randomly
scattered on, like, everywhere.
On the front, too. And he does eventually put them on a vest later on, which makes much more sense. But the first time they're, like, I called it a hoodie in, like, the reaction, but it's literally, like, it's almost like a zip-up, like, track jacket. Like, it's, like, that kind of fabric. And I was like, that's not what people put buttons on. Usually you see them on, like,
really
a sturdier jacket because it'll tear the fabric otherwise. I was so confused. But I guess that was, like, the vibe that they were going for of just, like...
Right. It's very silly.
It's silly. It is silly.
And I enjoy them. I think they're so funny. My next note is, holy shit, an Asian person.
That
hey guys.
Doesn't sound awesome, but yes.
No, it doesn't sound awesome, but that was our collective reaction while watching. And it finally added to our diversity chart, which I'm actually I don't know if I've filled out really great this season.
No, we're starting here with, like, the caveat that we haven't been keeping track before, like, this point.
Yeah.
Because we've obviously met other characters of color, but, like, this is the first time we're truly, like, now we're tracking it.
Yeah. Because the last one I have written down was, from, it was Isaac and Tamara from the first episode. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's because we were doing, like, specifically main characters, but even then, I feel like there's been a couple that have just slipped because I don't always... So, guys, I switched to doing my notes digitally forever ago, so I don't always take out my notebook now, but I have the chart in my notebook, so sometimes it slips.
I think the best way for us to do it, if we want to actually keep track of it moving forward, is to...
Google
they
Doc.
have to be named, and they have to be in more than one scene.
Okay, I like that.
Because,
and also,
like,
I think it would help if we do it in a Google Doc so that we can both have access.
Yes, if we do it in a Google Doc, because then we can also add the gay list.
The gay list.
I don't know what else to call it.
We'll talk about.
I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, you can talk about that during Lore Library.
Great.
Cool. My next note is really good as well. So one of the characters in the Ghostfacers squad is... Fuck, what's his name? It's not Branch, but that's all that's coming to me right now. What's his name?
Spruce?
Yeah, thank you.
Spruce?
Yeah, Spruce.
Because you thought he was Bruce earlier.
Right.
This character doesn't exist. This character completely doesn't exist.
Right. This character exists for this joke and this joke only. When he is first introduced, he says that he is 1/15th Jewish and 1/16th Cherokee.
No, he says, I am 15/16 Jewish and 1/16 Cherokee.
Oh, really?
15/16 Jewish, 1/16 Cherokee. That's the joke. And then he made some kind of jokes about his grandfathers making different things. Yeah. And then one of them being an addict.
Yeah.
While driving a golf cart.
Yes, it's... I love the Ghostfacers. And I know Tay is going to give you a lot of reasons later why this episode isn't, like, great from, like, a moral, like, writing standpoint. But from an enjoyment standpoint, it's a good time. My next note is Corbett gay moments, followed by Corbett's, like, swooning over Ed and then saying, oh, and Harry's nice. Just really got me. I thought that was very funny. Then I have the note, Dad, come on, because while they're fucking recording, they're in a garage. And the garage door opens, and it like, pans over to, like, an older guy, like, pulling in the garage in his car, and I forget if it's Ed or Harry, is just like, Dad, come on, we told you not now!
You told me I could use the garage!
Yes, and it just, like, really adds to that pathetic, like... it's so good. I don't know how old these guys are supposed to be. College age, do we think?
I don't think it says.
It does not say.
I will say that Corbett's, like, page says that he is the average height for a 23-year-old. He appears the average height for a 23-year-old. I was confused because I found a Medium article, which the thing about Medium is you can, like, just write something and then they'll pay you based on views. So this doesn't mean it's, like, it's
canon.
Like, that, like, well, nothing on Medium necessarily is, like, more official than any other news. Then, like, sometimes you'll find something and you're like, oh, this is a relatively official entertainment site. Medium isn't exactly that, because anyone can write. Because I was confused. That's why I was on Corbett's page and found out he is the average height for a 23-year-old, which I suspect was probably just the actor's age at the time.
Right.
But the line in this article said, next up is Corbett, a gay teenager, and I don't know where they got teenager. So I don't think there's any ages.
Here's what I think that they got teenager from is because he's an intern. Yeah.
I was guessing he's just slightly younger, but he's not that much younger because, like, he looks about the same age as Maggie.
Right. So I'm gonna say that they're college age. They gotta be,
like, I think there's a chance that Ed and Harry are, like, like, mid, slightly later 20s, but, like, they're not, like, that much older than us, I would say.
Yeah. I think that the oldest that they are is 26.
Yeah.
But I think that...
But we're also guessing. We're just guessing.
Yeah, we're guessing.
We're making shit up.
We are making shit up, which is what we do here. Anyway, the next one I have a lot of quote notes, which is... That rhymes, that's fun. I have a lot of
Ooh.
quote notes today because there's a lot of really there's just really good lines in this, such as the next one, which is when they hear the music playing, and they say, "Not cops, just hicks."
Yep.
When talking, because Sam and Dean pull up and they think it's the cops, but then they're like, "Oh, not cops, just hicks," and that I really like
Yep.
that. I think that they should be referred to as hicks more often. Anyway. Dean going, "Oh, fuck me," but also it's, like, censored, obviously. When he realizes who they're with, it was really funny to me. I really liked it. Like, Sam noticing first, and then Dean being like, "Oh, fuck me." It was really good. Then I have, yes, ghosts reenacting their deaths, followed by death echoes are my favorite thing in the world, because they fucking are. I've talked about ghosts and how much I love ghosts. I've talked about it, okay? I love ghosts, and I think that death echoes are one of the most fun ghost dynamics. Like, I am obsessed. And the fact, oh my god. I'll talk about this more later. Anyway. Then I have my best friend and my best sister hold my glasses. That's from, this crucial part of the plot, IMO. There's a part where Maggie, is that her name? Maggie? Yeah.
Yes.
Maggie's like, "I'm scared." And Harry's like, "Me too." And then they start making out. And Ed, like, walks in on it and shines his flashlight on them. And they're like, and then he's like, "My best friend and my best sister." And he turns to Spruce and is like, "Hold my glasses." And then they start fighting.
Yeah.
He's like, "Are you banging my sister?" Really good. It's Always Sunny. Did you fuck my mom, Santa vibes?
Yes, for sure.
Then I have so good. That's my next note. And then I have Corbett died, frowny face. I miss him because I do. I miss Corbett. I'm sorry. Then I have make a circle out of salt and get inside. Inside the duffel bag. Inside the salt. Another really funny Ghostfacers moment, because they're just so stupid. We talked about this a little bit between episodes, but the fact of the matter is that the only reason that they're alive is because Sam and Dean showed up, even though Corbett saved the day. Because Corbett saved the day because Sam and Dean said that's what's called a death echo, and you can reach their humanity if you have a connection with them.
Yes.
And, like, reach the human inside. Had Sam and Dean not been there to tell them that, they all would have fucking died. For sure. But, like, I don't remember where I was going with this point. They're stupid. That was my point. This is my favorite quote from the episode. And I am aware, again, Taya's going to talk about it more in just a minute. I'm aware how problematic this line is, and I'm aware of the moral, like, trepidation behind it. I don't know the better word to use right now. But the line, "You have to be gay for that poor dead intern," really does things to me. I just like it. I think it's funny. And it would be funnier if this was, a better show. It would be great in our show. But unfortunately...
it would be awesome in our show. Because I'll talk about it. We'll get into it. It's not worth it to do it now.
Yeah, we'll get into it. It would be fucking great in our show. It's a great line. However, comma.
However, comma.
Yeah. My next one is... Corbett makes me so sad. I love him. He saved the day truly, because he fucking did. I love you, Corbett. Which also isn't his name, it's his last name. I don't remember. It's like Ashton or something like that. Asher. I don't know. I don't remember. Adam? Who knows? It's on the page, but I don't feel like checking right now. Then this is another really good line, which is another vaguely homophobic one, is in the end, he says how we learned how gay love can pierce through...
Which, again...
we learned that gay love can pierce through the veil of death.
Which, like, out of context is great, but in context.
Right, it's being given by a straight character about a gay character who was killed. Like, not a great line in the context, but also out of context. I want that quote, like, on my gravestone.
Again, it's like I'm gonna have to talk about this because I really struggled with this episode. I really did.
Just that line is. I think I might make it my Discord status, actually. Then I have the note, Sam being like, hey, you know that was super fucked up, right? Is really funny. Especially, hold on, this isn't in my notes. I just thought of this. It's really funny, especially if you think about the fact that, like, up until this point in season 3, we as viewers are supposed to be under the impression that Sam has lost some part of his humanity because he has not given a shit about, like, killing people. However, watching this documentary, he went, hey, it's really fucked up how much you exploited the death of your friend.
Yeah.
But up until this point, that is not the vibes that we've gotten from Sam in this season. So that's really funny that
He says, I have the transcript up. He says, I mean, it's bizarre how you all are able to honor Corbett's memory while grossly exploiting the manner of his death. Well done.
Yeah.
And then Dean says, yeah, it's a real tightrope you guys are walking there.
Yeah.
Which I'll talk about later. This will come up.
3 notes left. My next one is Sam and Dean leaving behind a fucking super magnet to wipe the footage. They're so funny. At first we thought that maybe Sam had made it, but then Dean's the one who says it by name, and I was like, oh, Dean? Dean Smart Moments? And honestly, maybe it's, like, has something to do with him being, like, so into car mechanics. Like, maybe he just knows shit like that. I guess that would make sense, huh? And then, so they really made, this is my note. I meant to say this during, like, the reaction, but then I got distracted, so I said I was going to write it in my notes, and I did. They really made this episode at, like, the height of shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were like, we know what we're doing. And they did this for me. Like, at this point in my life, in 2008, I didn't know what fucking Supernatural was, but I sure as hell knew what Ghost Hunters was.
Mm-hmm.
Sure as hell knew that. Mm-hmm. I loved that shit.
Conversely, like, a lot of people, one of the reasons, and I'm not, just because I'm trying to get out of the habit of just reading a ton of reviews at the end. I'm going to try to just, like, find, like, 1 or 2 if I want to talk to some about it. But this episode is very mixed reviews, and I'm not going to tell you the rating yet. That's part of the fun.
Right.
But a lot of the people who don't like it, they just think it's a waste. They don't necessarily think it's that funny. A lot of people think it's cringe. That's something newer.
It's so good.
A lot of people who don't like it, who are newer, think it's cringe, but other people are like, this doesn't add anything to the plot. Like, this is a pointless episode. And in some ways, I get it, because, like, usually filler episodes do tend to add something about the characters. It doesn't tell us anything new about Sam and Dean. It doesn't tell us anything new about the world. Does it really tell us anything new about Sam and Dean, other than Dean has 2 months to live and had this on his bucket list?
Yeah.
Does it really deepen his character in, like, a really meaningful way? Because, like, here's the thing. We have, like, a different, like, when you say filler episodes, usually what people are thinking of is, in anime, these episodes,
Beach
they would
episode,
literally
baby.
put... Well, what they were doing was literally putting in filler episodes so they wouldn't get past the manga. That's what that comes from. In Western media, it's a little bit different, where they're like, kind of like, they're there for breathing and they're there for character development usually. There's not like a, we don't want to get past the source material kind of thing. You know? That's not a thing when it's an original show. But that's like the origin of where some of these came from. It's not where it always comes from, especially in anime nowadays that isn't always based in manga, but, like, you know, that's like the general idea. That's why you have, like, the beach episode where, like, not a ton happens.
Right. That makes sense.
But in Western media, usually there's, like, an expectation of, like, something is going to develop, but nothing develops in this one, so it does end up a skippable episode. And
right.
That's what a lot of people are angry about.
That is fair that this is a skippable episode, but also I don't think that anybody should skip it ever. Unless, of course, you're sensitive to the topics that are discussed, which is
I also
super
think
valid.
that it's, like, are you done with notes? You're not done with notes. I'll talk about this
I
later.
have one more.
Finish this.
So funny that Sam and Dean wipe the fucking footage because they're fucking dead men and they cannot be caught. And that's my final note.
Okay. So, lore library is going to be a little different because this isn't all lore. This is just like a Taya's rant corner today. So the first thing I wanted to say is, just because I was just talking about it, but like, this season, as we mentioned, was written during the previous Waga strike. And because of that, a lot of this season drastically changed. And we've talked about this. It is confirmed. Eric Kripke has said, like, Bella's arc was supposed to be longer. It was truncated. That's one of the reasons it's just, like, it's so weird. This season was supposed to be 22 episodes, and it was cut to 16. So that is, 6 episodes that are gone? That's, like, a whole arc. That's like, especially on Supernatural. Supernatural's arcs are usually, like, 3 episodes. That could have been 2 whole arcs. Like, that's a lot for them to cut. And one of the reasons that this episode does kind of stick out to me, and we'll talk about this maybe in the season wrap-up, too, because I think it's going to be one of my things. The pacing of Supernatural is always so weird, but it's especially weird in this season, where Eric Kripke said that in some ways the writer's strike benefited Supernatural because they really had to focus on Dean and, like, both him dying and, like, how maybe they were going to get him back. And then there's episodes like this where I'm like, you only had 16 episodes, and this one doesn't actually add to your main plot, which, like, as fun as this episode was, hypothetically, I didn't have as much fun as Haley. I had moments. It's hard for me to, like, get past the fact that I'm like, I need them to focus on the plot lines they're trying to build. And they're doing an episode that is completely detached from everything, and if you remove it from the season, nothing happens. If this were a 22-episode season, I don't think I would have as much of an issue with that, but as a 16-episode season where they admit we had to truncate and just completely drop a lot of plots, I'm like, well, why is this here? You know, that's kind of like, why are we here? Just from this article that I found called Supernatural, How Real-Life Events Sent Dean to Hell in Season 3, which is on Screen Rant. I'll link it in both the show notes and on Twitter in our thread. For Supernatural's part, Season 3 episode was slashed considerably, and arcs involving Bella and the Azazel Mary Winchester connection were curtailed as a result. Another Supernatural plot that suffered greatly during the writer's strike was Sam Winchester developing psychic abilities through the use of demon blood. According to Kripke, the original plan for Sam's powers to become far more powerful over the course of Season 3, but the writer's strike pushed this material back to Season 4, where a souped-up Sam would have saved his brother from Lilith in or before Season 3 finale. Dean was left without anyone to spare him from his grim fate, and therefore ended the season stuck in hell. This season basically, like, changed the trajectory of the show, because while I do believe that, like, this first 5 seasons had the most pre-planning, I think that this changed how they were going to get to Lucifer, basically. I think this is like a shift in how they had to approach it, because Dean was not supposed to die. So if they were going to introduce angels, which I do believe they were doing anyway, because I think that they were probably getting there regardless, right? Lucifer is in, like, the bones of this show, basically, because, like, just with things sure. I'm pretty sure when they started the show and they were like, we're going to have 5 seasons, we're going to get to that moment. I don't think it was, like, just this season where they started figuring this out, because Sam's demon blood thing is intrinsically tied to Lucifer. If it was an accident after this season, then I guess good fucking job, writers, you did a great one. But I do think that was set up beforehand. They just changed how they got there. So Sam was supposed to save Dean, and Dean wasn't supposed to die. The only reason we have Destiel is because of this writer's strike, because they had to get him out of hell once he died. Right. Talking about this strike, there is a dig at the writer's strike at the very beginning of the episode. Like, it's like one of the first lines of the show, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so it's 1, 2, 3, it's the 4th line of the show. And Ed says, "We know you've had it hard during the crippling writer's strike." And then Harry says, "Lazy fat cats." And Ed says, "Who needs writers when you've got guys like us?" I do want to say that from a live journal post I found where somebody contacted Sarah Gamble, I believe she was striking, and supposedly, like, Eric and Bob were, like, very respectful about this, and from what I know, that neither of them had any writing involvement with this episode. I don't like this line.
Yeah.
And
it's not a joke, it's a hit.
Yeah. And there's people who are probably like, oh, well, it's just like a little, like, it's not a big deal, especially since this will lead into the next bit about the meta-narrative of this episode. I don't think it's funny, like, at all. So I don't like it. I don't like that. And whoever specifically wrote that line, I think it was you, Ed, I don't like it. Is it Ed? No, his last name's Ed. Ben, I'm not a fan. Okay, so I'm like trying to figure out how to word my thoughts. I have such a hard time with Corbett, and from the few the things I was able to find that still exist
has a problem
from
with
Tumblr.
Corbett because they're homophobic.
No. I could only find a few Tumblr posts about it, like, easily. I'm sure there's more out there, and I'm sure many more have been deleted or lost to time. I'm sure many are behind, like, locked accounts and stuff like that. So this is... But I will say, I found a post from 2014 that said this is one of the most decisive... Is that the word? Divisive episodes of Supernatural, because people can't seem to decide if Corbett was, like, good gay rep or not, and if it's, like, satire, or if we should be taking it seriously. Like, that's something that's apparently up for a lot of debate, and one of the things that kind of clouds the water is that this episode was nominated for a GLAAD award.
Now, Taya, I understand that is an award, and I didn't ask earlier, but I'm going to ask now for our viewers who might be like me and don't know anything about awards. Can you specify what a GLAAD award is?
Okay, so this is directly from supernaturalwiki.com, just because I have it open, but, like, GLAAD is
I know it's GLAAD, isn't it with 2 D's?
It's 2 A's. Close.
Fuck.
So it is the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation.
Oh, holy shit!
And the awards are awarded to recognize and honor media for their fair, accurate, and inclusive representation of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community and the issues that affect their lives. In 2009, Supernatural was nominated for Outstanding Individual Episode in a Series Without a Regular LGBT Character for the 313 Ghostfacers written by Ben Edlund, which features gay Ghostfacers intern Corbett, who is killed but still manages to destroy the vengeful spirit. It lost out to an episode of The New Adventures of Old Christine. And I think that both shows,
had I known what the acronym was, I probably would have had a bigger reaction when you told me the first time. But also, that makes for good podcast.
I can tell you that they were nominated 3 times.
Holy shit.
And we'll talk about the other 2 times when we get to them. The next one is in, I think, season 5, and then the next one is in season 8. And it never won one, but it was nominated 3 times.
I'm glad that it never won.
Yeah, I think that this muddies the water a little bit, because it does, at least for me, put a little bit more into perspective, like 2009, where are we at? Which,
that's
fine.
True.
That's, okay, fine, I guess I can say that, but I can also look back at history and be like, still, that's not good. You know, like, I'm allowed to do
Right,
that.
Because, like, yes, it's 2009 or 2008 or whatever, but
it
at
wasn't
the same
homophobic.
time,
Like,
right, like, I mean, this is not necessarily on the same topic, but, like, I saw, I was on TikTok this morning, and I saw some clip from, I think it was Love Boat, about a transgender character that was on, in, like, 1981 or whatever, and how they handled it, and it was, like, really fucking good, like, well handled in the, 2-minute clip I saw on TikTok. And, like, I was looking in the comments, and people were like, some people in here are saying that it's really good for the time, but this is honestly a better representation of trans characters that we have now in 2020. And I was like, bro, you're so right. So, like, sometimes the test of time argument doesn't hold up, actually.
Yeah, I'm always thinking of, I think it may be, I don't remember which Dropout show or interview or whatever it was, but there's this short clip from it where they're talking about Superman having, like, it's not kryptonite, but it's like this pink kryptonite maybe, which makes him, like, extremely effeminate, and he, like, likes interior decorating. And it was like, so when was this put out? And it was like 2007.
Yeah, so it was probably during that, like,
and in that,
I hate that I'm about, like, do you remember, like, the metrosexual boom?
Probably. And I can't remember if they mention it in this video or if it was in, like, replies and reblogs under this video where people were talking about how homophobic the early 2000s were.
Oh, yeah.
I think in some regard, one of the reasons for that, and I'm saying this with, like, I haven't taken a queer studies class in a hot second, so I'm just saying shit. I think part of it is when marginalized people become more, I don't want to say more visible, when more, like, you see this, you tend to see this spike of hate.
Right.
When a marginalized community becomes slightly more visible, it allows more people to go, oh, I don't like that. So, like, you know what I mean? Which might have been something that happened also, like, in the early 2000s.
And also, like, humanity is so fucking crazy, and, like, what was the political climate at the time? Like, I don't know my presidents. I know Obama was 2008. I cannot tell you who was before Obama. Was it Bush?
Yes.
Okay, it was Bush.
I'm pretty sure. We were children, and it wasn't entirely important. Here's the thing. Haley and I remember, like, doing fake votes for Obama in elementary school. So, like, that's where my political knowledge truly begins. But I think it was Bush because of 9/11. Right,
yeah. Yeah, like, I literally only remember Obama is the first president I have any knowledge of, because I remember there was a black kid in my class who, when he was elected, the next day he came into class crying because he was so happy, and it made me really happy. Yeah.
We're a little off topic, but what we're saying is things are wild. And back to Supernatural. I can appreciate that this episode is meta. And it does go out of its way to show us that it is meta. It shows us the editing. It explicitly shows us Sam and Dean watching the episode and goes, you just watched what Sam and Dean watched. That's what we saw. We saw these flawed people and what they edited this into. Like, it's not like a Supernatural episode. It is a Ghostfacers episode that we dropped into a Supernatural episode. Right. And then they have Sam and Dean comment on it. They have Sam say that it's exploitative and have Dean say it's walking a fine tightrope or whatever. So here's my issue with it. And I'm reading my own notes because I read a few posts and I found a lot of blog posts by gay people who do not like this episode. Like, from, I'm pretty sure, around that time period, or not long after, where, like 2013, which isn't too much long after in, like, the grand scheme of things, you know?
Right. It is 6 years as opposed to 17 years.
Yeah. And overwhelmingly, it's like, there's, like, a lot of gay jokes in here. Like, we said some of those lines are funny, but it's out of the context of this is season 3 of Supernatural.
Right.
And even if Haley and I talked about this, Ed seems very Harry seems very uncomfortable with the idea.
Because Harry's the one who's like, you know, Corbett's fine and all, but I think he has the hots for Ed.
Yeah. So Harry seems a little more uncomfortable with it. And it's never clear if it's just because he says, like, that could be disastrous for the team. It's not clear if, like, that's because, like, any romance between the team could be bad, which then is him covering up for his feelings for Maggie, whatever. I saw that discussion.
Oh.
Or, like, some homophobia, but he has the most, like, kind of, like, homophobic lines. He makes, like, thrusting motions when he's like, you have to, you know, and then does that.
No. It's so, when they when Corbett has his Echo, they're trying to figure out how to reach him, and Harry's like, well, Ed, you know, Corbin really liked you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Ed is like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. And Harry's like, well, he really liked you. And
yes,
Harry's
thank you.
Ed is like, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? And then Harry goes, well, you know, like, and then he does like thrusting movements. Mm-hmm. Moments?
Yeah, and we talked about, like, well, Ed seems like not necessarily like he reciprocates, but more like once he knows about Corbett's crush, he doesn't like feel any sort of way, and he like genuinely seems to like Corbett, and like it's just sad his friend died. But like everything Harry says about Corbett is just like uncomfortable.
Right.
Even if one of these posts said like nothing is explicitly said to the gay character that's homophobic, which I guess that's technically good. You know, it is good, and
right, like they didn't call him the F slur. Like what?
Congratulations. Let's give him an award. We almost did. But some people are upset by Bury Your Gays, which I'm going to mention here because we previously mentioned the quote-unquote gay list, where we're just going to keep track of any named LGBT characters, and then also if they die. And so far, we're 2 for 2 with Lily from the Psychic Kids, who tells us she accidentally killed her girlfriend and then is the first one killed. And then Corbett, who immediately also dies. Yeah. But the thing is, so this episode falls into some tropes, including Bury Your Gays, a gay guy having a crush on a straight guy, and just like general like exploitation of like a gay person's pain and death repeatedly.
Right, yeah.
We see his death on the camera, and they're going to show it. Their plan was to show it, which is why Sam comments on it, but it keeps cutting back to it. It keeps cutting back to him.
There's literally
his dead
a commercial
body
break that freezes on it.
His echo, we see his echo multiple times. It's a lot. You see it often. And one of the arguments you see is like, well, it's satire. They're making fun of like this idea. And that's where I have an issue, because even if you're looking at this as meta and satire, and I saw people saying, well, this episode has been described as meta by the author, we're not talking about the writer. Like, we're starting at death of the writer, death of the author. Their intent doesn't matter. The show does make it explicitly clear that this is like a meta.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Even if it's satire, this doesn't work because Supernatural falls into many of these tropes when it is not satire. Yeah. When it is just existing as itself, it falls into these tropes anyway. I can't remember if we have, like, this much exploitation of another gay person's death, but most of the gay people in this show are dead. Some of them die multiple times. Like,
poor Charlie.
That's not awesome. And if you want to talk about the idea that a gay character is in love with a straight one, that's the entire plot of Destiel. Yeah. Like, that's how the show ends. So you can't say it's satire and commentary on these homophobic tropes and then do them genuinely, because it's not them being like, we did this in the past, but now we're getting better. Because they didn't. They didn't. So it's like, the gay jokes in this video can't be satire when Supernatural makes these gay jokes outside of your metafictional video. Dina's still going to say these things. They come into the room and run into Ed and Corbett, and Dean, for some reason, Dean says, you and your girlfriends have to get out of here. And Haley was confused because Haley thought Maggie was in there. Maggie was not in the room at the time. They had not run into Maggie. They didn't know Maggie was there. I think maybe...
And then I was like, oh, maybe there's another girl.
I think maybe Ed said something like, oh... Because Dean was like, where's your original partner in crime? I think maybe Ed said something about he's exploring elsewhere. But Dean just referred to all of them as your girlfriends, which was like... That was Dean. They did not edit... The Ghostfacers did not edit him saying that. That's just what Dean said. And that's what Dean says outside of this video, too. So it can't be commentary on homophobic jokes if that's just the norm. Like, there are moments in here that are genuine. I genuinely do believe that Ed cared about Corbett and loved him in a non-romantic way, because I don't think that they were trying to imply that Ed is also like gay or bi or anything, because then they go and make a joke like the power of gay love. Like, no, that's not...
The power of gay love pierces the veil of death.
Exactly. Like, I don't think that that's what they were trying to imply. And so I think that this episode ends up just being a little confusing to figure out what they're trying to say, because, like, it is still homophobic. I can't stress how sad it is to repeatedly watch this kid die, and just again and again. And at least the characters know that it's painful, but then they also go and make a video about it and show it again and again and again. So, like, I don't know. And also, this doesn't pass the Bechdel test. There's only one girl.
So true.
So
true.
So, yeah. That was long.
That was long, but I think it needed to be long.
Yeah.
So, it's okay.
This episode, it's just a lot. It's a lot for an episode that does ultimately not matter.
Right. So here's my crack ship for the day. It's Ed and Sam.
Why not? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by Ghostfacers theme song.
Yeah, I'm not surprised there. I didn't hear any of these other songs, but they were there, and Haley noticed them. This episode is also brought to you by It's My Party by Leslie Gore. I didn't hear that one.
It literally played while Corbett was being murdered.
I'm sorry.
You better be. Corbett died for us.
I don't know if he died for us.
He died? Well, his ghost died for us.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Anyway. So, fave thing on the wiki was hard for me today, but I did decide on the section, under featured supernatural beings. I said that Death Echo.
Oh my god.
I just like that Death Echo is here, because Death Echoes are my fave. Mm-hmm. I fucking forget what I was going to say when I was talking about it earlier, and I was like, yeah, I'll talk about it later. I don't know what I was going to say there. But I love ghosts, and I love episodes that have to do with ghosts and ghost lore and dynamics. And this being one is, I remember what I was going to say, I think. Maybe. I don't know. But this is, something that I'm going to say. Being able to reach a ghost and their humanity really gets me. Mm-hmm. Like, there's something that it just fucking gets me. Like, one of my favorite books, spoiler alert for fucking Deep and Dark and Dangerous by Mary Downing Hahn. If you haven't read it yet and you really care to, I'm sorry. But, there's this fucking scene in that book where Sissy, who is the ghost girl, up until this point, she has been an antagonistic, force. Mm-hmm. But there's a point in the book, towards the end, when she goes to the main character's room, and it's nighttime. The main character's, in her PJs. She's getting ready for bed. And Sissy sits down on the bed in front of her and asks her to brush her hair for her. And, it fucking made me cry the first time I read it, and every time I think about it, it fucking makes me insane. So just, the scene where they have to, like, break Corbett from his echo, even though it's this sincere moment that is played weird because of all of the things that Taya said, it's still in that, like, trope of ghost dynamic that I fucking love. So I just like that. I love ghosts. I love ghosts so much.
I know, we all know. That's why we're here, frankly.
That's literally why we're here.
My favorite thing on the wiki is under trivia, and it is noteworthy that this episode can really be considered a kind of pilot for the future web series spin-off of Supernatural, which is the web series of Ghostfacers, which is 11 episodes long, maybe like an hour max, and at some point Haley and I will be watching it.
And it will be great.
Yeah, we're going to wait a little bit because the last one has Cass in it, so we want to at least start season 4. So, yeah.
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 One of my Yeah.
Yeah.
So, alright. Here's the thing.
Yes.
My ratings are funny. You know this. You all know this by now.
What did you do?
I'm stalling a little bit right now because I'm trying to wait for Google to fucking load for me. Because I'm trying to open the ratings chart right now. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you may know, the last episode was Mystery Spot, which I rated a 10 out of 10.
No, it wasn't.
LOL, I forgot the last episode was Justin Bell.
Yeah, that episode just, like, wasn't very, like, noteworthy.
That's so funny.
Which is wild because it ends with Lilith showing up. Like, despite everything that happened to that episode, I also forgot that it was the last one.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Anyway, as you may remember, Mystery Spot was in this season. And I rated it 10 out of 10. I like this episode more than Mystery Spot. I like this episode more than Tall Tales, which I also rated a 10 out of 10. I want to give this an 11 out of 10.
Oh my god.
This is, in my opinion, one of the episodes of all time. I understand that it's a mixed bag in the ratings, but it's just the fucking goofiness and the way that it plays off of that, like, fucking reality TV show shit. In my heart, this episode is an 11 out of 10. However, to go along with my ratings, it is 10 out of 10 scale. I will be rating it 10 out of 10.
Alright.
But know that in my heart...
Oh, okay, got in your heart, of course.
In my heart, this episode, it surpasses the boundary of a rating scale.
Awesome. Okay. On IMDb, this episode has a 7.6 out of 10.
Shit!
Which I think, if I go back to Supernatural as a whole, let me just do that real quick. I believe it makes it one of the lowest episodes for this season, if not the lowest.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the lowest of this season. It is the lowest by 0.2. And so the majority of people not liking this one is it doesn't do anything. They don't think it's funny. They don't think the acting is good. They don't like that nothing happens. You can skip it. A lot of them are like, it's not bad, but it could be better. You know, there are some people who really like it. There are some people who like love it, but a lot are like, you can skip it. Like, there's nothing here. Just skip it. And I mean, I think the frustration with this one was like, a lot of people haven't been liking this season. There's a few standouts. People love Mystery Spot, obviously. But, like, people don't care for the Bella plotline. People don't care for the pacing. People don't, like, you know, all this stuff. And so this one just seems like a waste of time to people. And I actually found someone who gave it a 2 out of 10. And hilariously, this one was written in 2022. And they said, the question is why? Was this the writer's week off? And did they let a junior high class write this episode?
Help! Oh my god.
I don't know. I can't say this for sure, but I read a few things in a few articles and blog posts about Corbett. About supposedly the actors for Ed and Harry did a lot of improv. Because there was speculation about, like, the thrusting being, like, an improv thing that was left in. And I guess they've said they did a lot of improv for stuff. And I think you can a little bit tell. And I don't think, based on the other episodes that this writer has written, it feels like one where they maybe gave some ideas. And then for some of the scenes were like, how would you react? Just a little bit. And again, this is speculation because I can't know what was actually in that script. These could be word for word, action for action, what was on paper.
Right.
But it does kind of have that quality, which is a reason why some people love it. Because it does have that mockumentary feeling. And
that's why I like
maybe
it.
some of that is from them improving and just feeling out what feels right to say in that moment as those characters. But yeah, this is a disliked episode. And I can kind of see what they're saying about the acting. It's like, it's goofy. But it's also, like, I get that it's supposed to be. But I will also say, the actor from Ed, for Ed is AJ Buckley, and he was in Christmas Mail. So if you've seen the Drew Gooden video, that's the level, he's a little bit better in this, but that is still kind of the level of acting we're working with. It just works better because he's in a comedic role.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I think it does.
Yeah, this one is not liked.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild, because I do remember people liking the Ghostfacers, but I guess just not this one. And having watched the episode, I don't think I would give it a 10 out of 10. But I don't know if I'd give it a 1.
Right.
Like, the homophobic stuff is really a huge deal to me. But, like, even, I don't know. I don't know what I'd give it. I'm not good at rating, that's why I don't do it.
That's so fair. See, I'm just
having fun.
I'm just having fun, and also I'm like a little bit of a bad gay person sometimes, and I think that's in my right.
I mean, you're also still acknowledging the moments when it's like being shitty, so it's not like you're like ignoring that. Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to HATRUSA. We are HATRUSA everywhere, and I'm desperately trying to post more, so if you want to interact with me so I have something to interact with back, that would be so fun and cool of you. But tell your friends, tell anyone you know who might like a little background noise, tell people who I guess are critical of Supernatural, because man, I get asked all the time why we do this when I clearly don't like the show. My friends are like, why? I don't know.
Dale loves me so much.
Exactly. So, we also have a coffee now. It's also HATRUSA. You can either sign up to be monthly, which unfortunately I won't be able to get reactions up until after May because things have gone sideways. But after that, all of them will be available. If you don't want to do monthly now or can't, you can always tip us on coffee. You can do, I think, increments of 3s or whatever. I can't remember. You do not have to, but they would be much appreciated because we have to buy Haley a new mic. I work with audio now, and every time I listen, I'm like, mine isn't great, but Haley's is worse.
Haley's is the worst. I've had this headset for many years, and also it's fucking on its way out. Like, every now and then, it will just, like, give me this, like, nice little, like, high-pitched squeak, and I'm like, oh, hello? You're talking to me.
But yeah, we suck ass at advertising our podcast. And we also apparently can't figure out how to access the people who still actually care about Supernatural. So any help is appreciated, truly. Yeah. Especially since we are now, like, maybe a month out from meeting Castiel.
So fun. Oh my god.
I will be tagging everything we post with Destiel. Just everything we post.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact that there are people who still care about Supernatural because obviously fucking Winchester's just happened, and obviously, like, it's Supernatural. It was one of the biggest fandoms forever, and I feel like it will be.
We just have we really are weird because we come out of the gate like we're going to be extremely critical.
Yeah, and also here's
But
the thing is I've been to a couple of cons in the last year, and I keep seeing fucking Supernatural fan art on sale at booths, and I'm like, ha!
I guess it's a different story when you ask someone to be a hater with you for over an hour.
Yeah.
That's a different commitment, I guess.
Yeah.
But we're happy to be white noise, too. I have debated whether or not I should bring a little sign that's like, listen to my podcast to my conventions this summer.
I think you should, and I think you should do a tip jar for it. Buy my friend a new mic so our podcast doesn't sound like shit.
I'll print out a little thing of our logo with like with the little Spotify scan, and it'll just be like, listen to my podcast.
Here, wait, I'm gonna send you a picture on Discord right now. I know that this doesn't make for good podcasting, but you can use this picture.
No.
You can use this picture of me and replace it with no mic. For the listeners, there is an image of me that my one of my friends edited, and it's the Megamind no bitches meme, but they edited it to me. They made me look like the no bitches meme. So I think it would be really funny if, along with that Spotify and the listen, you use this and make it say no mic, and that's your advertisement.
Anyway, we'll see you next week. We're so close to Kaz. I desperately hope season 4 is good.
Yeah.
It's gotta be good. I love how we're saying that as if, like, this show is going to get good when we both know it goes downhill drastically after season 5.
Hey, it's okay, because Castiel's gonna grip us tight and raise us from perdition.
I can't believe that they... I can't wait to do a frame-by-frame analysis every single week of all the ways they queer-baited people for, like, 10 years.
Oh my god. Anyway, hey Taya.
And also, did we talk about how Warner Brothers said Misha should stay bisexual?
I don't think we did we?
Holy shit. We'll talk about it next time.
Okay. Hey Taya.
Hey Haley.
Can we just skip the rest of this season?
I would fucking love it. We have to watch Bella and Dean die, though.
I don't care.
We have to watch both of them die. They can't both. These 3 episodes can't be that important, can they?
Actually, Bella doesn't die on screen, so.
She gets dragged away, though, and you hear it.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.